All right, YouTube followers and friends and family and everybody else, here we go. Looks like the U.S. government has shut down for the first time in 17 years as budget talks fail. All right, so what I want to talk about here is the fact that, the IRS will still be going, the FBI, DHS, TSA, all the agencies will still be funded, so don't you worry. We're still going to have our, little tyranny set up, and our illegitimate government will still be running. The only thing is they'll just be, cutting out the entitlements and, playing the fearmonger on the people that paid into the system for their whole lives and, are dependent on their checks that they get from the government. So that's just one way of the government fear-mongering us, and it's crazy, they're holding us hostage. They're using fear tactics to raise the debt limit, above $17 trillion in debt we are, and they want to raise it even more. This is crazy. There's no way to pay it off because every dollar that's printed is not even worth a dollar. So you have to print more money just to make up for the dollar that wasn't worth a dollar in the first place. Okay? It's called a black hole of debt. It's impossible to pay it off. The system has been rigged this way. And now, the globalists, or whatever you want to call them, the New World Order, whatever you want to call them, they're going to hold us hostage. Our markets will probably tank tomorrow, and, every poor sucker that put their money in there over the last couple of years, as the Fed's been pumping $85 billion a month, that's over $1 trillion a year of printed money that is, it's worthless. I like to call it our hard-earned worthless dollars. That's a term I've coined. All right, so, don't be worried. Don't fear anything. Unless if you're a soldier in Iraq or Afghanistan or, wherever we are around the world and you're not going to be getting paid, I really feel bad for you. I empathize. Same thing with folks on Social Security. The VA benefits are going to be cut. But Congress will still be getting paid. Obama, he'll still be throwing lavish parties. Don't you worry about that. And, Kerry, he's still going to be going on his trips, and, don't worry about that, So when they say that the government is shut down, no, what it is the people have been shut down. The government's still running strong. They all still get paid. They all still have their lavish lifestyles on our tax expense. And it's crazy. It's time to get a rein on this, and we got to do something. We need to start with a sound currency. We have China making deals all over the world with big-time countries, no longer using the dollar for trade. And once the dollar is no longer the global standard, we're in a lot of trouble. People are already bailing out on the dollar. Look up margin call on the dollar. This is probably the start of something big. I know Porter Stansberry has been talking about this lately, and he's a pretty knowledgeable man, and everybody should be listening to him and, listening to what he has to say, because he uses government statistics, and our dollar is on the way out. You can look up DXY. That is the index for the dollar, and look at it over the last 5 years. You can see where actually, let's go look. You can actually see where, let's see, DXY. You can actually see where all the pumps have gone, and the problem with the pumps, the quantitative easing, I should say, the problem with those is it's only peaking to a certain level. So, there we go there. The dollar index right now is down 12 more cents. So let's just look at a 5-year graph here. This is since the beginning of the quantitative easing here. Okay, so as you can see, those high spikes there on the left-hand side of the graph, those are the quantitative easing pumps. It pumps money into into the economy. And you can see, well, the first one, it went way up high, but then you can see how the dollar crashed right after that, and they needed to do another pump. All right, but the problem is, see, it didn't reach even as high as the first pump. Now, if you look over, the last couple of years there, about the last year and a half, where they've been pumping in this money, it's stalled, okay? It didn't reach the high as the first high. It didn't even reach the high as the second high. And now, as you can see, that last high there barely reached the high just before that. And this is a very, very scary sign. So, we need to get a hold of our dollar. We need to go back to some kind of a standard. We need to get the Federal Reserve out of our money system, because what they're doing is designing it to crash. They're tricking everybody into thinking that the economy is good by looking at the stock market. But that's all phony numbers, because it's fake money going in there to pump it up. You give me $85 billion a month, and I could show you a really good portfolio too. All right. So we need to get a hold of our government. We need to rein in the spending. Porter Stansberry says that we're spending, get this, $200 million an hour. The government spends $200 million per hour every day. That's on holidays, weekends, everything. And once people start pulling their money out of the dollar, the interest rates are going to start going up, and that's when we're going to be in some serious trouble. You think the debt goes up fast now. Wait until we have, 2, 3, 4, 5% interest rates on borrowing the money, and our credit has already been downgraded. And we really need to figure out what we're going to do here. It's scary. I have kids, and I want them to have a successful life ahead of them, but, when they already owe, I think the number is $55,000 in debt, each individual taxpayer, you can check on that number for yourself. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less. You can go and look up the debt clock on that and verify that number, but they're already behind. Our local governments, they're behind. It's all beginning to crash, and once it starts come crashing down, there's no way to stop it, until it hits rock bottom. And then, of course, the people that benefit from the quantitative easing, they'll just be able to come in, print up some real fake money, and then go and buy up everybody's homes that just got foreclosed on again. So everybody needs to pay attention to this. This isn't the end here. What it is it should be an awakening that our government is corrupt. They're in bed with some very dirty people, and they're using our money to, fund these people, and they're just robbing it from us. Look at your paycheck. Is it what it used to be, a year ago, 2 years ago? How much taxes are they taking out now? All those taxes do not go to pay down the federal debt. It just goes to pay the interest to the people that printed our money. All right, folks, go ahead and share this, like this if you can, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.